Okay, we're streaming. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And let's go ahead and get the link out to our school community. Okay, and well, they should have it, right? That's what they should have, right? Oh, it says I'm live. Join me for coffee hour. I actually had my coffee already. And announcements, like category. Yeah. No, and all this stuff you can't do ahead of time, which is interesting. Okay, guys. Again, happy Friday. Welcome to Coffee Hour with Greg. So good to be with you here on this last trading day of January, and it's a very eventful trading night, trading day. We saw silver drop 20% overnight from its highs. Down it's trading around 93. We also have the stock market down as well. All the markets are down. It's Friday, low liquidity, people going away for the weekend. Plus it's month end. End of the month is usually have some end of the month flows. Hedge funds and big institutions close their books, and they wait for non-farm payroll for January that comes out in February, right? So that's that part of the market we call the crust, the outer. If we look at the market as a piece of bread, we can imagine the crust being. I used to always peel off the crust of that Roman meal bread, and the top part is that crust and the side part. So your Fridays, Saturdays, and your Sunday, Mondays are usually low liquidity, and in the first week of the month and the last week of the month, those are the times that are um, of the month which have low liquidity, very choppy markets, um, and sometimes we have market reversals happening around at that time as well, right? And it only compounds because we have the geopolitical risk. We have a fleet moving out to Iran to try to support the people fighting for freedom over there. you know, and we've got a number of things here in Minneapolis with the insurrection going on there, whatever you want to call it. But anyway, markets don't like instability. They really don't like it. They like things that are stable, and people will move their money to different places. Or I'm assuming that they're moving them to the U.S. dollar. We can actually check that. Let's do a little market check. And for those of you, I want to welcome all you guys on YouTube. I know we finally got you guys on, and it's so good that you are able to join us via YouTube. And also my VIPs, Jay and John, they're online as well. Nice to see you as well. And if you haven't found out, we have a school community here, Elite Traders University School. If you ever wanted to find out what goes on at Elite Traders University and the quality of our instruction and our insights, you can find them here as a sample. You can have it's like a 7-day free trial on school if you go ahead and click that link of school community, Elite Traders University, that you will find in the YouTube chat. And then what you can do is you can actually, in fact, I can place it in the chat. Yeah, I think it'll chat both ways, right? Yeah, and let me go ahead and then what you can do is, okay, I have the chat here. So there's I'm gonna paste that in the YouTube chat, and I'm gonna go ahead and pin that as well, right? Okay. Okay, so here we have news, analysis, and also there is a classroom there with classes starting from the very beginning level, baby Forex pips, Forex Foundations freshman, and which is another level up from the baby pips that tells you like what support and resistance is and what oscillators are and trend lines. So if you're not familiar with the Forex terminology and jargon, Baby Pips is a great course to go through. 16 courses, absolutely included with your membership. You have a 7-day free trial, and after that, it's just $7 a month for access to the classroom, the community, and the $7 is basically just to keep spam and tire kickers and scammers out, because scammers will attack free sites, but they won't attack a $7 site, right? So that's the whole methodology of that. I don't need your $7. I make a lot, with Jay and John know I make a lot more than $7. So your $7 is not is just a fee for keeping the riffraff out, right? And so we get Samurai Sword is a system developed by one of my $1 million students that she developed, Svetlana. She's from Russia, and it's a great 4-video course. And usually I take my most successful students, like with Jay doing his live trading. He might be the next person to create a sub course. Big congratulations to Jay. He's in fact, Jay and I were trading last night, and I was like in my long goal mindset, and Jay, I hear this voice in my headset. Normally there's no talking during the trading. Usually it's a lot of chat, but not a voice. And Jay felt it necessary to say, we have it here, right? Okay. And someone online heard him say 15-minute bearish vibes, Jay. And it was quoted by one of the people who are on YouTube, that he heard it too. Everyone heard it. It was a shot heard around the world, right? And I go, oh yeah. So what we did, we were able to hit a bunch of, I got my head out of my butt and start getting short, right? So, and then we just unleashed this massive. After the first 2 losers, we got back in the right direction and just sold this baby. And it went down even farther. If you could, am I sharing my screen now? Oh, I'm sharing. Am I sharing right? I'm sharing. Give me a number 1 in the chat box if you can see my screen. Okay, thanks. Awesome. Yeah, where did it go? I had some really pretty charts here, and they're all gone. Okay. Is this it over here? No. Wow. Oh, I know. They're on gold. Yeah. All right. So these were our zones. We were trading this area, supply zone. All right. And in the morning, I took this up, and then I said, let's wait for the pullback. Let's let ABC and then go up, right? So we were able to take some trades. In fact, let me show you what those trades were. Let's go ahead and go to settings and executions, right? Executions, right? Right. And so so we took executions up, and they took massive executions down. And I put remember I had the buy stop there. I had that little buy stop. I set the buy stop here, and we talked about auto trading, semi-auto trading. So funny, I had a clogged up sink a few minutes ago, and the maintenance guy came in, and I heard this like shots, like machine gun shots in the bathroom. I'm like going, what are you doing? He goes, someone, this guy, he makes AR-22s by hand, and he had an Instagram call or something like that. So I'm like going, well, that's really interesting. Okay. I have a gun manufacturer that works here, right? Anyway, so we'll just start rapid firing this here. We got there, right? This is a 5-minute chart of gold with supply and demand zones stretched out. And we had that big decline. And I figured, let's do the ABC. And then, it'll probably go back up, right? But this was we broke structure. We went from higher highs and higher lows. Structure change is very, very important to trading, guys. More so than Indicators more so than anything, because if you just have structure, right, when you have higher highs and higher lows, you stick with it. But when you have a lower low and a lower high, right, this high is lower than this high, and this low is lower than this low. Well, then that's a change of structure. We're on the other side of the trend line. Once you get on the other side with structure, right? You can get on the other side because here is some trend lines were broken, but where we broke the trend line, right? But we came back, right? This one we broke and it changed structure, right? This is a structure change. And that forms your head and shoulders, shoulder, head, shoulder, and then just massive drop down, right? Right down to the old low, right? And that was a target. And that was 51.13, right? And I said, you know what? There's sometimes we place the buy stop. In fact, this was, we got a buy stop, and then I set up a buy limit. The limit order was placed. I placed the limit order when we signed off last night from our Asia session trading. So we trade from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. And most traders don't like trading the Asia session, right? They say it's boring. They say it's nothing going on. But I tell you, for me personally, the Asia session is the best session to trade because I live here on the West Coast. Well, Las Vegas is, West Coast. And I can have dinner, and after dinner, sit at my computer with my VIP clients, and then for 2 hours I'm trading from 7 to 9, and I'm done. I make all the money I can. Sometimes I'm greedy and stay in it, but I think I did come back and try to hit a couple, and I just stopped. But normally I'm done in 2 hours, or I think we were done actually a little early. I think we were done like an hour and 45 minutes, and then I turn it off. I go watch, TV, watch Gutfeld. Gotta watch Gutfeld, and then get my prayer, meditation, and then I'm done. And then I don't wake up till like 9:10. Now here I'm waking up early for you guys because it's still 9 o'clock. But Fridays is my early day. But it fits my schedule, and that's what's really important for you as traders, to find out what works well with your schedule. Don't just say, oh, well, Greg does this, but if you live maybe on the in another part of the world, it won't work for you, right? It won't work for you. I had one of my students said, oh, the London market has so much liquidity, and he packed up and moved to London. I'm like going, really? You got to understand that people in London don't trade the London session. Why? Because 8 o'clock in London, they're at work, right? I mean, if you're a full-time trader, yes. But if you're going to work a job and then come home and trade, well, your prime hours of trading, 3 a.m. our time, 8 o'clock, you are, you're in the London time zone. And people in London, the clients I have who are from London don't trade the London session. They don't trade the London Open, which is hard to believe, right? But they have jobs. And so most people who are trading, it's not full time for them yet, right? They're getting there. Eventually, that's everyone's goal when they start trading, is to become a full-time trader. And I try to reason with them, like going, I'm going to get a job. It's like, you're going to get a job, and then you're going to trade. But London session is 8 o'clock, so I don't think that's going to work. And he found that. I goes, hey, Greg. It's like, yeah, you flew to London. Now you moved everything over there, and now you can't trade London session, right? You have to wake up at 4 a.m. and trade, or wake up at 4. What's it? So right now in London, let's say it's like 3, right? 4 or 5. Well, London's closed, right? So see, London, you can trade part of New York, which is not bad. But New York is almost done too, right? Yeah, it's lunchtime. So you gotta look at your life, or maybe even plan this is what I want to do at this time, right? So if you plan on like hiking in the morning, like what I can do, I can go up to Red Rock, I can hike, I go to the lake, I can walk around the casinos or the strip or something like that. I got my whole morning to myself. I can take care of business, handle my banking, or do laundry or whatever, right? And then I have my whole day free, which is what this is freedom for me. In fact, I had lunch with Rod last yesterday, and Rod he took me to he's a high roller over at the Win, and we were at the Jardin restaurant, and he took me out to lunch, and you know, and he's a busy executive. He got some time off, and he was in town, and he said, Greg, I really envy you because you have time flexibility. I have this business, but I'm gonna chain to it. And it's a good business. It's a very good business, and so he's but he envied the time flexibility that I had as a trader, right? That's and that's what people would like to do, right? Is to have that time flexibility. But I made a choice, that London session wasn't going to do trading. London's not going to work for me. I don't care how much liquidity it has. Yeah, it says 85% of the trading volume, blah, 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 blah. And you probably seen some old webinars of mine taunting the London session. But I tell you what, if you live in the West Coast, or you live in the West Coast, not so bad, but in Hawaii, definitely beautiful. I traded in Hawaii. I traded London session all day long, or all night long, right? From like it's just 8, 9 o'clock at night to about 11, 12. But if you live on the East Coast or Central Time Zone, and you're trying to trade London session, you're just going to wreck your marriage. You're going to turn your wife into a Forex widow. You're going to turn your kids into Forex orphans because they're not going to see you. Where's daddy? Well, he sleep because he trades the London session. Don't worry, honey. One day I'll make a lot of money, and and that ain't gonna work. You wake up with a lot of money, but your family is gonna be gone, right? So I would just that's a piece of advice for you to find a trading time that works for you. Set hours, business hours for pip and runners. I tell them, I go, look, if you're trading more than 2 hours, you're using the system wrong. Okay. When I first started with trading, I traded like from Sunday at 5 p.m. when it first opened up all the way. Like I was up 2 and 3 days all night. I would even have a little cot and sleep next to the computer. It's like, oh my goodness, I mean, so many lost hours, lost years, lost time, right? And so one of my big banner missions is to free traders from the idea of having to trade every hour, every minute, every second. If you have a good system, you should be able to make money in 2 hours. Well, that's impossible with my system. I have to be there. I'm a day trader. I'm going to be there from 9 a.m. for the opening bell all the way up until 4 p.m. I go, well, you just create another job. And I didn't get into trading to create a job. I got into trading for freedom. And I know you think, I'm going to stack a bunch of money trading and then I'm going to get free. And it's like, no, it's you're just going to make, typical traders make 2 to 3%, right? Typical, right? Typical. I'm not talking about pip and runners. Some of you guys make like 100% a day. And I know, and no one believes you, and everybody thinks it's a scam. That's why I always tell my students to have audited trading results using my FX book or FX Blue or some other third-party verification software, right? And so that's very important to be able to do that, because you don't really want to, if your typical systems are going to be 2 to 3%, if you make 3%, that's considered like, hey, you're 25. If you make 20% per month, you're golden. And I'm just like saying, pip and run, you can make 25% in a day, in an hour, right? But I know it sounds like a wild claim, but the wild claim allows me to have time flexibility, right? That whether you believe it or not, I'm able to have time flexibility when I can take an account. I make $909 on a $14,000 account. That's 6.3% in one night, right? So 6.3%, right? That was 28th. And this was the 29th. I mean, 1,800 the next night. And this is like another account that I'm trading, okay? So if you're making like 6% a night, right? I trade 3, and I trade Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Sometimes I put a Monday in there, but not often. So I trade 4 days a week, right? 4 days a week at 6%, it's 24% per week. Multiply that times 4. That's 96, 96%. So I'm basically able to double my account in a month, right? And my super large account, probably not, but on these other intermediate accounts that I have, I'll go and put a trade in there, and I'll trade on that for 3 days, and I'll take another account and trade in that, right? Or they'll take $100 and just scale it up. And I tell my students, keep yourself sharp. Put $100 in an account, scale it up to like $1,000, $2,000, pull it out, right? Keep yourself sharp. Make it like a video game. Make it like a video game that pays you, right? Make it like a video game that pays you, and that's very. But see, the rules in pip and run in our ecosystem are so much different than the rest of the planet that it's not believable. If you're on the call, you are looking for something outside the box, right? And I was telling John, I said, most people can't get outside the box because they are the box, right? You can't get outside yourself because, we change your identity, right? We change what is believable or possible. Is like the 3-minute mile. Nobody can run the 3-minute mile because they said that your legs would blow up and the human body couldn't withstand the pressure. But when one person did it, was it Roger Bannister? I forgot who it was, but someone broke the 3-minute mile. And then everyone at the same time, all over the world, when someone heard that, someone could make the 3-minute mile, then everyone started doing it, right? It became a believable thing, right? And you got to understand, when I was scalping back in the day, we didn't have rows and rows of trades like this, right? But as I started pushing the stuff on the internet, then all of a sudden you start seeing other people do the same thing. And this is Jay, great trades from Jay, 27 winning trades, 26 winning trades, 1 loss for $2, right? And that was Jakey. What did you start with on this account? Oops. Oops. There he is. What did you start with? Let's see. I heard a bleep. I thought maybe someone that asked a question or something raised their hand. Okay. Oh, you can't see my screen? Okay. Oh, yeah. I'm just talking right now. Can't see my screen. Okay, let me see that. Try that again. Yeah, I want to show this. It's very important. I have all these things I want to share with you. Very important things, right? Let me get back in here, right? I think that's it. Yeah, okay. Oh, okay. Share screen, okay. And entire screen, okay. Share, okay. There we go. Yeah, so Jay, 26 winning trades out of 27. So a 96% win percentage, right? And you start with like about $5,000. So was that 9? That 10%? No, 8%, right? So an 85, the 8%, 8.5% return. That's not bad, Jay. Big congratulations to you. 8.5% return, $460. Yeah, I mean, and guess what? And Jay goes, I just woke up. My voice is still asleep. I finished the month with a 12% return. Jay, okay. You think you could turn the microphone and tell us about this? Yay, yeah. John says, Jay, that is inspiring.
Yeah, Doc, can you hear me?
Yeah. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, so after I doubled my demo account, I started with a really small live account, and by really small I mean like $75, I think. And this was right after New Year, so the volume was really low. The first couple of days, I was doing pretty good, just doing micro lot sizes, 0.01. And I got really greedy because I got on a win streak, had, I don't know, maybe foolishly increased my